Wow, things are going absolutely bananas. We got the jobless claims for last week. They came in at a horrific number. Most didn't expect it to be this bad. 965,000 Americans filed unemployment claims last week. That is beyond shocking. If this doesn't worry you, if this doesn't concern you, you must be living under a rock. These people who just say, my life is fine, this doesn't concern me, everything's good in my little town, my life is fine. We're losing so many jobs in America. Who even has a job left at this point? If you have lost your job, please comment down below. Let us know what's happening, how long ago you lost it. Maybe you just lost it last week. Let us know what's going on. Let us know if there's anybody in your family, friends, people that you're associated with that may have suffered a job loss. Comment down below. Let us know what you're seeing in the real world here in America. So while we just lost 965,000 jobs, while 965,000 people just filed unemployment claims, and that's not in California where I'm from. Everybody tells me it's just bad here in California. It's not bad anywhere else. It's just bad in California. I can assure you that those 965,000 people who filed unemployment claims last week, they were not all from California. This is a nationwide disaster. This is a new world disaster taking place right here in front of your eyes, along with the wealth transfer that we've been talking about for a couple of years now. It's all happening. It's all happening right before your very eyes. And while all this is happening, Dow Jones was only down 68 points today. Most of the market was down except for the Russell 2000. It was up a couple percent today, but for the most part, the market was down. But what boggles my mind is that the Dow Jones is only down 68 points while 965,000 people filed for unemployment claims last week. None of this makes any sense. There are no fundamentals in these markets whatsoever. People are just being completely deceived with what is happening in these markets. They don't understand that they are 100% propped up by the Fed now. They do not understand that this economy is being sacrificed by Wall Street, by the stock market, and it is all on borrowed time. So jobless claims surge to the highest weekly total since August. Yet as I'm watching the television today, as I'm watching these business shows this morning, life is good, my friends. That's what they're telling us. Everything's great. You need to jump into these markets. 2021 is going to be a great year. Let's not worry about the unemployment crisis. Let's not worry about nearly 1 million unemployment claims filed last week. Let's not worry about that. These markets today, just on the news with these jobless numbers, the markets today should have absolutely been destroyed. We should have seen the Dow Jones go down 3,000 points minimum with what we just saw today. This is absolutely bananas. We've never seen anything like this. What are we in now? 10, 11 months with this? Does anybody even have a job left? I cannot believe what we're seeing with these jobless numbers on a weekly basis. And nobody even talks about it. Nobody is even concerned about it. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you seeing evidence of the unemployment crisis we have in America? Are you seeing friends, family members, associates losing jobs? Have you lost a job? Let us know what's going on. The Associated Press, U.S. budget deficit up 60.7% in the first 3 months of budget year. The U.S. government's deficit in the first 3 months of the budget year was a record-breaking $573 billion. This did not include the $900 billion in the relief package that Congress passed. Federal spending sets record through December. The federal government spent a record $1.376 trillion in the first 3 months of the fiscal year. That's October through December. That's $197 billion more than it spent in the first 3 months of fiscal 2020. Now, let me ask all of you a question. And I know there's people out there that just believe everything is fine because they're not being affected by this economy. They're making a few dollars on the Robinhood account. They've got a pension check coming in. They've got a government subsidy check coming in. So they're okay in the meantime. This isn't affecting them. But this just affected 965,000 people last week. This has affected over 70 million people in the last year. But how in the world do you think things are going to be okay when when we have more money going out than coming in, when we're running up record debt and deficits? How do you think this is all going to play out? When your pensions are not being funded, a majority of the pensions in America are unfunded, but you're getting a pension check today, so everything's okay. What happens down the road when that pension check gets cut in half, or heaven forbid, your pension is wiped out and now you have nothing and you're 72 years old? Then what? People better start waking up and thinking about their futures and where this is all going. You better be putting some money away. You better be putting something away for a rainy day. You better be putting some assets away. And you better be aware of how fast and how bad this can end up for millions of Americans, including you, including me. But to think that this debt and these deficits are going to play no role in your future or my future or your kids' future, you're sadly mistaken. And as we continue to watch the markets sitting at near record highs, and millions of people going jobless here in America. Article on The Hedge today I thought many of you would find interesting. 655 people have $4 trillion in wealth, but 200 million can't cover a $1,000 expense. 965,000 people filed for jobless claims last week, while $4 trillion in wealth is sitting in the hands of 655 people. A couple statistics I want to give you. And just absorb this data and think about how this, 0.001% sitting at the top of the pyramid, getting all the opportunity, getting all the handouts, getting all the benefits, all the help, while the majority of Americans are suffering. 55% of Americans are in a financial disaster. Over 110,000 restaurants have permanently closed. In 2020, over 70 million Americans filed unemployment claims. Only 39% of Americans could cover a $1,000 emergency. That means 61% could not cover a $1,000 emergency. Think about that. 61% of Americans could not cover $1,000. So what does this mean for that 61% of Americans if they have an emergency? You may be one of those people. And I think that this is absolutely an atrocity taking place in America when the average American can't come up with $1,000 for an emergency. When half of this country doesn't even have $400 in savings. 200 million Americans are struggling month to month. And our answer is to send more stimulus checks to people. It's not going to work, ladies and gentlemen. Americans are drowning in debt. $600 in crumbs is going to do nothing. Now they're talking $2,000. I can tell you right now, here in Southern California, $2,000 doesn't, you can't rent a shack for $2,000 out here in Southern California. And what about the business owners who haven't made a lease payment or a rent payment for their business in 10 months? How are they going to make up for all these losses? And yet, we are going to continue to find small businesses if they open. We're going to find businesses if they're over the 20% capacity. We're going to tax these businesses. They're so far behind. I don't see how we're going to get out of this. But right here in my area, they have task force that are going around and citing violations. If you're over capacity, if your restaurant's open, threatening to take your liquor license away. And these business owners are 10 months behind. They've got mortgages, they've got families, they've got bills, they've got employees. What in the world are they going to do? But they're going to send everybody a $2,000 check now. That's what they're going to do. How is that going to fix things? How is that going to fix these problems? What we need is jobs. We need industry. We need to open things up. And the longer, look, I don't even know how bad this is going to get, because we pretty much have been closed or partially open for the last 10 months. And we still don't know what the fallout is going to be, because nobody's made a rent payment in 10 months. People have blown through their savings. They've destroyed their credit. Bankruptcies are soaring. So we don't even know how this is all going to play out, but it's going to begin to play out in 2021. And what are we going to see with the rent moratoriums, the mortgage forbearances? At some point, they are going to expire. I'm sure they will extend them again and again, but at some point, there is nowhere to go, and they're going to expire. And then what? We're going to have 4 million homes in default, possibly. We're going to have a rental crisis that's going to turn into a homeless crisis. But again, 200 million people in America are struggling literally day to day. They can't cover $1,000 expense. This to me is not normal. This is not normal. Yet markets are sitting at record highs. Words cannot even explain what we are watching take place day to day. And the answer is more stimulus, send you a check every few months. That's not going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. All that's going to do is create more debt slaves in America. It's going to create more dependency on the government for money, for food. Where's the opportunity? Why isn't the wealth circulating throughout the economy? People should be absolutely irate that a few people at the very top are holding $4 trillion in debt. Yet the average American is losing everything, and the middle class is being absolutely destroyed. Article today on Yahoo Finance: China ends 2020 with record trade surplus as goods soar. So as America is going down the sewer, in China, exports grew 18.1% in dollar terms in December from a year earlier. Trade surplus for the month was $78.2 billion. Trade surplus reached $535 billion for the full year, a 27% increase from 2019. Trade surplus with the U.S. was $317 billion, up 7% from 2019. I can tell you, while the middle class is being absolutely destroyed here in America, the middle class in China continues to grow. And I want to end with this article on CNBC. Powell sees no interest rate hikes on the horizon as long as inflation stays low. The Fed meeting today, Jerome Powell said this: every economy, and certainly our economy, faces challenges. Well, isn't that the truth? But he goes on to say, but I would say there were no obvious imbalances that threatened the ongoing expansion. You've got to really question Jerome Powell when he says stuff like this. No obvious imbalances that threaten the ongoing expansion. What about the 965,000 jobless claims last week? What about 70 million people, over 70 million people in 2020 filing jobless claims? What about $27.7 trillion of U.S. debt? What about 12 million people facing eviction? What about the commercial real estate crisis? I could go on and on and on, but Jerome Powell and the Fed claim that they don't see any threat with ongoing expansion. They don't see China as any type of threat. They don't see our economy dying, our middle class being wiped out as any kind of threat. So when I read stuff like this, I can tell you, I feel like I'm being completely lied to. And this is why I am doing everything I can to detach out of the system, keep the minimum amount of money in my bank account. And I only deal with a small local bank. I don't deal with these large banks. I'm doing everything I can to detach, holding more gold, holding more silver, and just educating myself with what is going on and the lies I'm being told, like this one today by Jerome Powell. This should just reinforce with every one of you that they are lying. The system is breaking down. The system will collapse. And there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. And there's going to be a lot more losers than winners. And if we continue to believe the television, if we believe Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, if we believe the central banks, we're going to be in very, very big trouble, and we're going to be on the losing side of this. I'm betting against the debt. I'm betting against the dollar. Look, the dollar is on borrowed time. There's no paying back this debt. Opportunity and jobs are going to continue to dry up. All they can do is give us a quick fix with more of these artificial injections that, in my opinion, from what I can see from the data that I'm reading on a daily basis, these quick fixes, these injections, all this money printing, all this quantitative easing isn't working. Look where we're at. The debt is higher than ever. The Fed's balance sheet is higher than ever. We have more unemployment than ever. We are looking at Great Depression numbers right now, and we haven't even completely collapsed yet. We're just beginning. This thing is going to be so bad, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even put it into words how bad it will be because we've never been there. We've never seen anything like this. We've never seen so many bubbles. We've never seen a global economy shut down. We've never seen so much debt all happening at the same time. And when this thing goes, it is going to be catastrophic. It is going to be unbelievable. People will not even be able to put it into words because it is going to be like a nuclear bomb going off, and it's going to affect everybody, rich, poor, and everybody in between. But unfortunately, it's going to be the middle class and the poor. It's going to be really 90% of the population that are going to really, really feel the pain. That top 10%, many of them are going to feel some pain too. But, you know, when you're at the very top and you're getting bailed out and you have assets and you've been buying gold and you've been buying silver and you've been buying real estate and you have ranches and properties and private jets, you know, your chance of survival is going to be much better. You know, when you can hire a security team to protect you and your family, you know, you put the odds in your favor, right? The average American cannot do this. The top, 0.001%, that's what they're doing right now. They're building bunkers. They've got islands. They got cattle ranches. They got massive farms. They've put the odds in their favor to survive, and many of them are going to become even wealthier and capitalize on the greatest depression 2.0 that we're going to see. I certainly can't buy a private jet. I can't buy a cattle ranch or a massive farm. But what I can do is the best that I can. What I can do is I can buy some gold. I can buy some silver. I can buy some mining stocks. I can put some cash away. I can put some water away, some food away. I can put security away. I can continue to absorb knowledge and prepare every day for what's coming. I can do what I can do. And maybe it's not as much as some people can do, but it's putting more odds in my favor to survive and to prosper in the worst of times. And my advice today is that you do the same. I'm not saying everything I do is the perfect plan for you. You got to do what you believe is right for you, and you got to do what's right for your family. But doing nothing is going to guarantee that you get absolutely smoked in this collapse. Don't be one of these people who believe this is going to be fixed by the government, it's going to be fixed by the Fed, that it's going to go away. They're just going to hope that it's going to go away. Hope is not going to fix your problems, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to right now get into a mindset that you start getting things lined up, putting the odds in your favor and getting prepared for what's coming. Just sitting around hoping this is going to go away, hoping that this is just a bad dream. Look, there's no denying what's going on. Look at the data. Look at the jobless claims. Look at the debt. Look out your window. You see the homeless people like I do. Watch some of my last videos in my area. I showed you all the vacant stores. This is just a microcosm to what's going on nationally, just in my little area right here, right? But it's happening all over in every state of America. And in many areas, it's much, much worse than what I'm seeing in my area here. It's clear as day what is going on. And the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit around, hope it goes away and do nothing and risk the lives and future of your family? Or do you prepare? Do you start preparing today? Most of you watching this video have been preparing for years. And thank God you have, because the longer you've been preparing, the better the odds are you're going to survive this thing and prosper. I'm going to leave it there today. Beautiful day here in the desert, but don't be fooled by the beautiful weather, the sunshine, and the beautiful flowers and birds out today. There are so many things happening that most people are unaware of. The dangers that are lurking out there, especially economically. When this happens, there are no second chances. When this thing collapses, there's going to be no time to prepare. Either you are holding wealth or you are not. Either you are prepared to deal with the circumstances or you are not. There's no going back. There's no second chances. What you hold today, what you are holding during that collapse is what you're going to be holding. That is what you're going to need. That's all you're going to have to get through the collapse. You're not going to get gold and silver at that point. You're not going to get security. It's going to get harder and harder to get food, water. Lights could be shut off. Get it now while you can. Get all these things now while they're available, while you don't have to wait in a line. The prices of these assets, all these, whether it's food, water, gold, silver, security, the prices of these assets are going to explode. Most people will not be able to afford to acquire them. You can afford it right now today. Cut the lattes out, cut going out to lunch, cut something out of your life and start adding these things to your arsenal. And you'll be happy you did, because I guarantee you, this thing is going to collapse and it is going to be brutal. And the people who are unprepared, they are going to be living in an all-out nightmare. Don't be one of these people. God bless all of you. Talk to all of you very, very soon.